Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, checking your bank account, and realizing your savings are gone. Not because you spent too much, not because the economy crashed, but because someone you had never met convinced you to hand it over willingly. Financial scams don't only happen to careless people, they happen to ordinary people who trusted the wrong message at the wrong moment. The frightening part? Modern scammers don't look like criminals. They look professional, helpful, and trustworthy. Today, you'll learn how these scams really work, the warning signs most people miss, and the simple habits that can protect your money for years to come. Because knowing how to earn money isn't enough. You also have to know how to keep it. Money takes time to build. You work long hours. You sacrifice weekends and late nights. You budget carefully. You save consistently. You invest with hope and discipline. You say no to unnecessary spending. You make difficult choices today, all in the belief that those choices will create a more secure tomorrow. But here's the painful reality. A financial scam doesn't care how hard you've worked. It doesn't care how many years it took to build your savings. In just a few minutes, one convincing phone call, one fake investment opportunity, or one message designed to create panic can wipe out years of effort. The good news is that scammers rarely rely on creativity. They rely on predictable tactics. Urgency, fear, promises of easy rewards, and pressure to act before you have time to think. Once you learn to recognize those patterns, you become far more difficult to deceive. So let's uncover how financial scams really operate. And more importantly, how you can protect yourself before becoming another statistic. Many people assume that intelligence protects them from scams. It doesn't. Scammers don't target intelligence. They target emotions. Fear, greed, urgency, loneliness, hope, excitement. Imagine receiving a message saying that your bank account has been compromised. Instantly, panic takes over. Your mind races. You stop thinking carefully. You stop questioning what you're being told. You simply want the problem fixed as quickly as possible. Now imagine someone promising to double your investment in just a few weeks. Suddenly, excitement replaces caution. You begin picturing a better future, financial freedom, less stress, more opportunities, and without realizing it, your judgment starts to weaken. Scammers understand human psychology better than most people realize. They know that emotional people make rushed decisions, and rushed decisions create opportunities for manipulation. This is why protecting yourself financially isn't only about having knowledge, it's also about having discipline. The discipline to pause, to verify, to ask questions, and to slow down, especially when someone is trying to speed you up. Because the moment a person pressures you to act immediately, your internal alarm bells should start ringing. And sometimes the few minutes you spend thinking twice can save you from losing years of hard-earned money. The most common financial scams. Let's look at some of the scams affecting millions of people every year. And more importantly, how they work. Because once you understand the pattern, you become harder to fool. Investment scams. These scams promise extraordinary returns with little or no risk. They are designed to sound exciting, even life-changing. You might hear phrases like guaranteed profits, secret opportunity, limited spots available, get rich quickly. The emotion they target is greed and urgency. But here's the truth. Legitimate investments always involve risk. Markets rise and fall. Profits are never guaranteed. And anyone promising high returns with zero risk is not offering an opportunity. They are offering a trap. Because in real finance, if it sounds too perfect, it usually is. Phishing scams. These scams usually arrive through emails, text messages, or phone calls. The scammer pretends to be your bank, a government agency, or a trusted company. Their goal is simple: to steal your sensitive information, passwords, account numbers, or verification codes. They create pressure on purpose. Your account will be suspended. Verify immediately. Action required now. Fear takes over. And when fear enters the mind, logic often leaves. Romance scams. These scams are slower and more emotional. They begin with trust, daily conversations, attention, emotional connection, sometimes even love. Then comes the turning point. An emergency appears. medical bills, travel costs, business problems, and they ask for money. But the person you trusted was never real. Only the emotion was. Online shopping scams. Here, everything looks legitimate. A website, a product, even fake reviews. The price is unbelievably low. You pay, and nothing arrives. The seller disappears. No support, no refund, just silence. Because the store never truly existed. And remember this simple rule. If a deal feels too good to be true, it usually is. Scams rarely appear obvious at first, but they almost always follow familiar patterns. And once you recognize them, you become much harder to deceive. Warning sign number 1, urgency. Scammers want you to act immediately. No time to think, no time to verify, no time to ask questions. Warning sign number 2, guaranteed returns. No legitimate investor, trader, or expert can promise risk-free profits. If it sounds certain, it's not real. Warning sign number 3, secrecy. If you're told not to tell family, friends, or your bank, it's because isolation makes manipulation easier. Warning sign number 4, unusual payment methods. Gift cards, crypto transfers, or sending money to unknown accounts are all hard to trace and almost impossible to reverse. Warning sign number 5, fear pressure. Threats, warnings, or strict deadlines are designed to make you panic and stop thinking clearly. Whenever fear enters the conversation, slow down, think carefully, and always verify before you act. How to protect yourself. Protecting yourself from financial scams doesn't require paranoia. It doesn't mean distrusting everyone you meet. And it doesn't mean living in constant fear that someone is trying to steal from you. What it does require is building habits. Simple habits practiced consistently over time. Because when it comes to protecting your money, the small things you do every day often matter more than dramatic actions taken once in a while. First, slow down. Scammers rely on urgency. They want you to act immediately, to panic, to react before you think. Never make important financial decisions under pressure. Whether it's sending money, sharing personal information, or investing in an opportunity that sounds too good to miss. Pause. Take a breath. Even a few minutes of reflection can save years of regret. Second, verify independently. If someone claims to be from your bank, hang up. Then contact your bank using the official number listed on its website or on the back of your card. Never rely on the contact details provided by the person contacting you. Legitimate organizations won't punish you for verifying their identity. Third, use strong passwords. Avoid using the same password for every account. If one account becomes compromised, the others become vulnerable too. Enable two-factor authentication whenever possible. That extra layer of security can often be the difference between stopping an intruder and losing access to your accounts. Fourth, educate yourself continuously. Scams evolve. New tactics emerge every year. The more informed you are, the easier it becomes to recognize warning signs before they become costly mistakes. Fifth, talk to someone you trust. Scammers thrive in secrecy and isolation. A second opinion can reveal red flags you may have overlooked. Sometimes all it takes is another person asking, "Are you sure this makes sense?" And finally, trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, pause. You don't owe anyone immediate access to your money. You have the right to ask questions, you have the right to investigate, and you have the right to say no. Protecting yourself isn't about being afraid, it's about being prepared. Because the best defense against financial scams isn't luck, it's awareness, patience, and the habits you choose to practice every single day. If you've been scammed, act immediately. Contact your bank, secure your accounts, and change your passwords. Save every piece of evidence, screenshots, messages, and transaction records. Report the incident to the relevant authorities. And remember, being scammed doesn't mean you're foolish. Professional scammers exploit human emotions. What matters now is taking action and learning from the experience. Financial freedom isn't just about earning more money. It's also about protecting everything you've worked so hard to build. Stay curious, Stay cautious. Question promises that sound too good to be true. The goal isn't to live in fear, it's to become harder to fool, because your money deserves protection, and so do you.